Welcome back to the Sammys and Beer Podcast, live here on this Whiskey Wednesday. We got another great episode of the Sammys and Beer Podcast live here for you. We are streaming live on Twitch, Sammys and Beer. If you want to chat with me, go to Sammys and Beer on Twitch. If you want to chat with Thomas, we are also streaming live on YouTube. We like to give you a little bit of dual penetration for your listening pleasure, and give you access to both of us if you want to chat. So, with me, as always, is the mojito lover himself, Tomas Rincon. And they're super annoying to make. Yeah, nobody likes you. Yeah. If you want a minty drink, just drink Rumplemints like a fucking man. Yeah. I went I went with one of my favorites. It's the Peaky Blinders edition. I don't know if you can see it with the light. Shelby Company Limited. My wife bought me a couple of bottles of these, and I have been saving this one, so it's been sitting for a little while. Okay. Okay. I like how you show the shot glass and then take a shot of water. Just get really good at making the face. Um, Mine is going to go out to somebody that you probably wouldn't expect me to do a shout out for, but I think that people that have, if they care, it can be very difficult on them, and it is the parents of military members. Watching their children go through basic, go into training, it can be a lot of hard stuff. And I've got a friend of ours that their son is in, and he's doing awesome, kicking ass. But I just can't imagine what, as a parent, how hard that's got to be. So cheers to all them out there. Mhm. I don't know if the kids ever actually come back. Yeah, but your kid never does. Like, that is like fundamentally changing a person, and they are no longer your child. They are now an adult. Whether they're 18, 19, 20, whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, but isn't that true with like everybody? I mean, most of the people that I'm friends with, I'm not like work friends with, or I don't work with. And so we all have like different hats that we wear while we're at work. Yeah. It's well, and it's such manipulation. That'd be interesting. I could see that. Marduk. Yeah. I can kind of see it, just without the super religious aspect. Because I just consider paladins like very religious. Like, no, we worship the god of cats. I don't even think you like beer as much as you like cats. Hmm. Well, and speaking of how your friends see you, have you ever had like a friend or somebody that you kind of know that you're not that good of that pays you like a really big compliment and it's almost like awkward? I don't either. But like there's a group of, like I said, there's this group of us wrestling dads who have gotten, we all have a lot of common interests. And, for Father's Day, we all wished each other happy Father's Day because, I mean, they're a super good group of dads dedicated to their kids and families and God and, just like the group of people that you want to be associated with. Um, and one of them for Father's Day, I wished everybody happy Father's Day. And he sent me like this long text about how I was a great dad, how he wants, I mean, he's like 10 years younger than me, how he wants to, like, he hopes to be a dad like me and strives and like, thanks for setting the example. And I'm like, fuck you, don't send me this shit. Like, it meant a ton, but it was also like, he texted to me, so at least it wasn't fucking in person. If it was in person, I probably would have had to punch him, you know? But it was super awkward though. Like, just like, thanks, man. Yeah, you are ditto. Well, but I mean, I think he's a better dad than I am. So, somebody told you were a good dad at work? That's fucking weird. You don't have kids. You are super sober. Well, but that doesn't mean that there's not booze and stuff around you. You're super organized. Well, yeah, and it's one of those things like to somebody else who can't, like, I preach to my kids. I'm like, put it away, not down. Like, I have spots for all my stuff. Like, my shit might seem cluttered. Like, you should see my desk. There's a ton of stuff on my desk right now. But I know everything that's on my desk right now. And I know where it is and I know how to get to it. It might take me a couple minutes to find the exact, if you're like, hey, do you have this bill or something like that? It might take me a minute of shuffling through things, but I know where all my stuff is. Oh no, I know exactly like where it's going to be. It's on my desk or I put it down on my dresser because certain things just have spots and they have to go in those spots. Otherwise they're fucking lost. And I don't like shit being lost. So, like, my kids get home from school and fucking hurl their backpacks. I swear they just hurl it into the house, fucking fling their shoes off, throw their sweatshirts at the hooks. And it's like, dude, how are you ever going to find that shit? That's why when we have to go somewhere and I'm like, hey, get your sweatshirt, you spend fucking 5 minutes looking for it. All you have to do is put it away, not down, and you'll know where it is every fucking time. That's why we have coat hooks. Well, they can't do that. They both they share a bedroom, so. We ain't rich. I ain't got fucking bedrooms for everybody in the family. Do you not have a towel rack in the bathroom? Oh. Ours started falling off because my kids would fucking play pull-up bar with it. From your cat? You now have cat scratch fever. I'm aware. That's why I said it. So, before we get too far into that, was there a speech recently about military personnel? Who gave this? Who gave said speech? Okay. Yeah, if anything, I find it awkward if you have a group of grown men standing and applauding and cheering and whooping and hollering. Un- Well, unless it's at a sporting event, then it's awkward not to be standing and yelling and screaming. Oh, okay. Which I mean, I I don't know. I guess maybe I thought that in that type of field, when you're military, law enforcement, firefighters, like you should be training every day for stuff like that. Like that should be part of your like 8 hour workday or how many hour workday? If you're a firefighter and you're on 24, like working out should be part of the mandatory routine that you do. Yeah. Yeah. Like me working with my hands on a computer, I can't go do things that jeopardize me breaking a finger and then I can't type. I got a little dick. I don't have to worry about it. Never had that happen. Mhm. Yeah. Did he say something about like wartime fighters or something like that? Okay. Yeah. No, and the reason I'm glad you brought this up because the parent that I took my shot for tonight posts, she's been posting a lot of stuff when they get to talk to their son every week on Sundays when he was in basic and, things like that. And she'd do weekly Facebook updates, which I thought was awesome. Like, because it's kind of cool. Like, that's one thing of social media that, like, I didn't put two and two together. I always thought of social media as like putting stuff out there for other people, but I couldn't care any less about it a lot for that stuff. I like when it shows you your memories. Hey, remember this from 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And, but she posted one thing and she said, I don't think of my son as a war fighter. And she had at the beginning, it's in light of recent speeches. And I was just like, what are these speeches? Like it's because my wife even asked me, she's like, did somebody like get mad at her for saying stuff? Like, what is this post about? And I was like, I don't fucking know. So I'm glad you brought this up because I'm guessing that's what the speech was about. Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a lot of stupid people out there. You know, I mean, how many people want to, how many people are walking around yelling free Palestine? Oh, yeah. The future is looking fantastic. Dude, since we've known each other for the last 3 years, there's been about once every 3 months, you're like, oh, I got to get my go bag ready. Oh, I got to be on preparedness. And that's been, you're right. And that's been for 3 years now. So I'm just saying, you now have become the Chicano who cried El Wolfe. Yeah, but planned, not like emergency. Yeah. Well, of course. I don't think it's going to anymore. Yeah. I think it's just a lot of fear mongering by our media and get people to watch, and that's how they keep people entertained is, you know, you got to talk about stuff that scares people because then guess what people want to do? Read more about the shit that scares them. Mm. The 70s isn't that old, but go on. NCO is a non-commissioned officer, just for all you laymen's out there. Oh, because that's real stuff. Like nobody just made that stuff up. What a scam selling ghost hunting equipment. Like, because you can't prove, like, you could never have to worry about people like being like, oh, this doesn't work. Like, prove that it doesn't work. Find a ghost and then point it at them. And then, no. Hmm. Yeah. But it's on AM, so you're catching stuff from all around the country. Yeah. Yeah. Uh huh. I don't know. I just can't believe anything on the internet anymore. Yeah. I even watch like videos and I like have to look to see who posted it before I know if it's like a real video because I'll be watching like real people talk and I'm like, that looks fake as fuck. And then I'm like, oh, this is Sports Center posted this coach talking. Like, this is probably real. Yeah. And this is just the early stages of it. Oddly specific story that you want to see. I don't know. You had those names, like you had Freddie Mercury locked, loaded, and ready to go with Obi-Wan in space. burning up my fuse up here alone. Yeah. See, I stress about perfectly normal things, like when I get a massive headache and I think that I'm having a brain aneurysm. That's gone now, but it happened earlier today. And like I had like pulsing behind my ear. I think it was just my neck muscle got like super tight. Exactly. Yeah. No, I had a MRI done on my head a few years back because they thought I had an aneurysm. Yeah. Hmm. No. Yeah. Yes, yes. No regrets. That was a good movie. All right, we're not live on the air. Oh, you know what's super funny? No, we're 100% live, but it's just been staring at my OBS state studio because I switched monitors and I didn't. I didn't. No, they have. There we go. I don't deal with it at all. I don't. It's not. I don't have that job anymore. Like, do they have to interact with each other? Why? Well, it's a big fucking plane. You said you can fit a tank on it. Hmm. Yeah, I would do that for a while unless it becomes a problem. Well, if it becomes a problem, then you have to address it. But until it becomes a problem, I would just, I mean, it's not your job to micromanage people's personal interactions. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to accept that people are going to make their own choices. You do what you can to help them, and ultimately the decisions are up to them, though. Like, you can't force them, you can't force two people to get along. You can tell them, hey, this is your job and you have to do it. And if not, then you don't have a job. That you can do, but you can't make the decision. Kind of like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. This guy that's having issues, you can show him the proper ways to correct his behaviors and show him the proper things that he needs to do, but you can't force him to do those things. Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever had that fun, awkward conversation with somebody after they get let go from the company that you're at? So we were at a high school football game this last weekend, and I didn't realize it was their homecoming. Just met a group of dads there with kids that my kids are friends with. So the kids were off playing, us dads were sitting there watching the game, and I saw this guy walk in, and I had kind of known that he was no longer with our company because I had looked for him in our system and couldn't find it. And I was like, well, that's weird. So I asked one of my buddies, and he's like, according to this person, apparently he got let go. And I'm like, oh, he's been here a while. That's weird. So I see him at this game, and wanting to avoid that awkward conversation, he's like, I saw him, didn't say hi. He's not somebody that like we're friends. And, you know, like I'll be courteous and say hello. But so I'm sitting there talking to my buddies, and all of a sudden, like I'm literally looking the other way, and all of a sudden I hear, "Hey, Matt," and I turn and I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man? How things going? Good." Da 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 da, and talking, and he's like, "Yeah, did you see I'm no longer with the company?" I did not. What happened? Oh, da da da, gives his excuses, and he's a nice guy, but I think he was kind of lazy. And he's like, "Oh yeah, they, did this," and gives a bunch of excuses. I'm like, oh. I was like, I saw that they opened a bunch of positions in your division, and I said I went to look for you, and I couldn't find you in the system, but I just thought maybe I was doing something wrong. Oh no, da da da. The second it happened, they cut off all communication, so you can't tell anybody, so I couldn't even talk to this person or anything. And he goes, so if you see anybody, let them know what happened. And I was like, cool, man. Yeah, I will. Have a good night. Like, what are you talking about? I mean, I feel bad for him because he's got like a wife and kids and shit, but at the exact same time, like it was like kind of like your when you were talking about your PT test, like. So just to give you an example, when I was a recruiter, I got up to around 30 to 35 travelers that I had on assignment at one time. And he's been doing it. He switched to the new company with I did. He just went to the school side. When they let him go, he had 10. And I've been in my new role for 2+ years now. And I was talking to my one buddy about it, and he's like, at that point, you're like not even making enough money to cover your salary. I'm like, yeah. Well, but I mean, I'm sure for him, stay home all day, collect a salary, life is good. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, super nice guy, and I wish him no ill. He's not somebody I'm gonna like ever be best friends with, but and then I got one other really good story for you. It's I apologize because it is a youth football story, but that's most of my life at this point, at least for the next couple of weeks. No, football's done in at most 3 more weeks. We start. No, we will, but then we got 5 months of wrestling. No, absolutely not. Although my oldest is trying to start a Rubik's Cube club. He now can solve a 3x3, a 4x4, a 5x5, a triangle. He's pretty into Rubik's cubes now. Yeah. 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 No, I think it's good for his little brain to process those puzzles and figure them out. But anyway, back to my youth football. So we have got one kid on our team who he's kind of lazy, pretty mouthy, you know, and you can tell that he. What are you looking at me for? You said, are you? Oh, I was like, are you saying I'm lazy and mouthy? Like, uh, but I've seen potential out of him. Like, there's times he's gotten mad and like done really, really well, but most of the time he's mad because he can't play running back or quarterback. Like at one point, apparently he told his mom that he needed to eat less at home so that he could lose weight so he could be a running back. And I'm like, well, they said to this head coach, and I was like, that's not a football issue. That's a parent issues. But anyway, he's now been kind of hit or miss for the last couple of weeks. He'll at least skip one practice a week. Wasn't at the game this last weekend. Wasn't sick, just he won't be there today. Which it was just kind of like, whatever. You do what you got to do. Well, then that's, yeah, oh, a whole nother story. But then, so he was at practice last night and just was being mouthy in the huddle, getting, just doing things you're not supposed to be doing at football practice. I don't know if you ever played football. I'm sure it's the same. Well, it's probably a little bit different in soccer because you don't huddle up every time. But when, co- when coaches are talking, I always say the best thing is I want you listening with your eyes and your ears. So I want you looking at me and listening to me. But these were the other coaches, and he said something and it was talking during the huddle and then messed up on the play. They were supposed to do this different play where it was on like 3 and he jumped right away. And the one coach, he's a little intense guy, he's a big dude, and he's like, go run. And I talked to him afterwards and he's like, I was fed up with it. He was mouth back in the huddle and that was just the final straw. He's like, it was just he needed to go run, sent him to the pole. After practice, his mom comes up and, why did you make him run? And is all fucking mad at him. And he's like, I don't blame her. He goes, I would have came up and said something. And he told her why. She's like, well, why is this the first time hearing of it? And I'm like, the head coach had a talk with your husband at practice 3 weeks or at the third practice. Like, this isn't the first you're hearing of it. We've just been dealing with it the best we can. And the one coach goes, she's like, why has nobody told me that he's been talking back? He doesn't do that at home? Well, I mean, he does. He's 9. If he does it to you, what do you think he does to us? And I was like, God, the fucking, and it was so funny. And she's one of those people that doesn't let it go because then she sent me a message on Facebook afterwards and oh, she started crying while she was talking to us. She's like, I think she was like asking us for like permission to let him quit. And none of us were gonna give it. Yeah. Well, and it's funny because like after practice he wasn't crying. She's like, he comes to the car bawling. I'm like, he was fine after practice for us. It's when he went to mom and he knew he could get something out of it. Then he started crying. Oh, 100%. It's not fun for either one of you. Mhm. Skills you've taken into later in life. You're just using different body parts to catch balls now. Or you definitely don't have to show more love. If anything, if I don't know if you'll believe this or not, maybe you will. I am by far the easiest on my kid of the three coaches. He's well, that and he's a fucking beast. It fucking takes care of business. Oh, yeah. See, I loved football for the aggressiveness. Like that was all I really fucking loved about it was getting out just to go and to smash people. It took me it took me a few years after football was over to learn how to deal with that aggression that I now had that I couldn't fucking unleash on people in a physical way. Yeah. That's a different kind of physical. It would have had to have been like wrestling. I would have done wrestling, but I won't do jujitsu because that's fake and you just gotta stand up. No, no way. Nope. Nope. No way. No way. Nope. You obviously, yeah. Well, that was your own stupidity for letting your arms get in those positions. Yeah, I don't fight people. Too old for that shit. Hmm. Hmm. Then, okay. What don't you know? You know how to teach people things, right? So what does her age matter? Why? That's 100% on you then. Like that's just something you have to get over. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter their age. Like people at any age can learn a new skill, and that's what she's doing is she's learning a new skill, and you are the expert at that skill, which is a scary, terrifying thought for all of us. But well, where's that confidence while you're teaching her? If you can say that to me, why can't you teach her? Are you for sure that she knows how to do that? Like, I think we assume that with age that people have a lot of knowledge and have life skills. There are 70-year-olds who don't have a fucking pot to piss in that still live in rental houses and drive $500 cars. So like you can't assume just because she's older that she has knowledge. You don't know what she's done for her life. Why? Well, that's because she's 50 years old. I thought you said she was your mom's age. You're 30? Somebody could be 44 and your mom's age. No? Sounds like a you problem, brother. You just you just need to get over it. You need to get over yourself. It's 100% what it is. You'll never get rid of it. Being in a new role is always hard. Figuring out who you want to be, how you want to be, what you want to be. 40 years old, and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Yeah. You know what I think I'm going to do? If I don't progress significantly further in my company, when my kids, I'm going to go get a job doing like maintenance or like at a school or a college or like a grounds and maintenance crew. So I'll like go out and fucking mow and shovel and then go like fix the furnace and fix lights and shit like that and just fucking chill. Sounds fucking glorious. Yeah. Or like our school district has fucking great benefits, good retirement plan.